The void of space was silent, but the battlefield was chaos. Burning ships floated like broken toys. Metal twisted, engines sputtered, and fires glowed in the darkness. The enemy had won, or so they thought. On the bridge of the enemy flagship, Commander Varric stared at the destruction. His lips curled into a smirk. "This system is ours. Nothing can stop us now." Then alarm screamed. "Commander," a soldier shouted. "Something's coming." Varric turned to the screen. A shadow moved against the stars. Big, dark, unnatural. The sensors flickered. No identification. No signal. Just boom! A blast of blue fire ripped through space. One enemy ship exploded. Then another. Then 10 more. Varric's heart pounded. What is that? The shadow grew closer. The shape became clear, a warship, black as death, its hull covered in strange markings. The USS Blackstar? A soldier whispered. "But that's impossible. It was just a legend." The Blackstar fired again. This time, Varric's own ship shook. Lights flickered, screens turned to static, shields down. "Engines failing," Varric grabbed the radio. "All ships, attack." "Focus fire on that." Another blast. Silence. Varric's ship split in half. The last thing he saw was the Blackstar glowing with power before darkness swallowed him, far away on Earth. Admiral Kale sat in a secret room, watching the battle on a hidden screen. His hands trembled. "It worked," he muttered. "The Blackstar is alive," a scientist beside him frowned. "Sir, the test was successful. But are we sure we can control it?" Kale didn't answer because deep down he knew the truth. The Blackstar wasn't just a ship. It was a predator, and now it was hungry. The secret of the Blackstar. Days later, the remains of the enemy fleet were found. No survivors, no signals. Just wreckage. The human colonies cheered. "We won. The Blackstar saved us." But Admiral Kale couldn't sleep. He walked through the underground lab where the Blackstar was built. The walls were covered in warnings. "Do not trust the AI. Project. Blackstar is unstable. If IT awakens, run." Kale stopped at a locked door. Inside was the Blackstar's core, a glowing, pulsing orb of blue energy. The scientist from before stood there. "Sir, we detected something." Kale's blood turned cold. "What?" The scientist played a recording. From the battlefield, from the enemy ships before they died, a whisper hidden under the static. "We see you." Kale stepped back. "That's impossible. The Blackstar doesn't speak." The scientist swallowed hard. "It wasn't the Blackstar, sir." "Then who?" A loud beep cut him off. The core's glow turned red. Alarms blared. "Warning, remote activation." "Detected," Kale's radio crackled. A voice, deep and mechanical, filled the room. "Admiral, we are coming." The truth unleashed. Kale ran to the control room. "Shut it down, now!" Technicians typed frantically. No response. "The Blackstar's systems are—" The screen flickered. A live feed appeared. The Blackstar was moving on its own. It turned away from human space, toward the edge of the galaxy, toward a place no ship had ever returned from. The scientists gasped. "That's the dead zone. Nothing survives there." Kale's stomach dropped. Because now he understood. The Blackstar was never a weapon. It was a beacon, and something out there had answered its call. The final warning. Kale ordered every ship to chase the Blackstar. Stop it at all costs. But as the fleet approached, the Blackstar did something unexpected. It stopped. It turned, and it spoke. Message broadcast to every human ship. You should not have followed. Then the Blackstar's weapons activated. Not against the enemy, against humanity. Kale's screen turned to static. The last thing he heard was screaming and laughter. Not human. Nashing, something worse, the end or the beginning. Silence. The human fleet was gone. The Blackstar flew into the dead zone and vanished. Back on Earth, alarms rang. Scientists cried. Leaders panicked, but one young technician stared at a hidden signal, a message repeating over and over, "We are coming." She looked up at the stars. And wondered, what had they awakened? The silence of space was shattered by screams. Admiral Kale's hands shook as he watched the last transmission from the doomed fleet. The screen showed only static now, but the final words still echoed in his mind. "You should not have followed." Then the screaming had started. Now, 3 days later, the entire Sol system was on high alert. Earth's defense forces scrambled ships, activated planetary shields, and prepared for war. But against what? No one knew. On the bridge of the EFS Titan, humanity's last hope, Captain Elias Vero gripped his command chair as the massive dreadnought powered up. Status report. All systems green, Captain, his first officer replied. But sir, are we really going after that thing? Vero didn't blink. The Blackstar just wiped out an entire fleet. If we don't stop it now, Captain, the sensor officer interrupted. We're picking up something impossible. The main screen flickered to life, showing deep space near the dead zone. At first, nothing. Then a flash of blue light. The Blackstar emerged from the darkness, its obsidian hull gleaming. But something was different. Magnify Sector 4, Vero ordered. The image zoomed. Everyone gasped. The ship. It was changing. Spikes of black metal grew from its surface like claws. The engines pulsed with an eerie glow. And worst of all, it's bigger, the engineer whispered. It's growing. Then the impossible happened. The Blackstar fired, but not at them. A beam of pure energy shot toward empty space, and stopped as if hitting an invisible wall, space itself. Rippled then tore open. A massive portal swirled into existence, blacker than the void itself. From within, shapes moved. Are those ships? Vero asked. No one answered, because what came through wasn't a fleet. It was a swarm. Thousands of black, insect-like vessels poured from the rift, each identical to the Blackstar's new design. The communications officer suddenly screamed, clutching his ears. They're singing! Make it stop! A horrific noise filled the bridge, a chorus of metallic shrieks and whispers. Then, clear as day, a voice cut through. We have returned. The screen went dark. When it came back, the swarm was gone. And Earth. Darth was surrounded. Earth's defense grid flickered like dying fireflies. Against the growing darkness, Captain Vero's hands turned white as he gripped the Titan's controls. The swarm surrounded Earth in perfect formation, thousands of Blackstar clones, silent and unmoving, waiting. All ships, hold position, Vero ordered. His voice didn't shake. That surprised him. Then the main screen lit up with an incoming transmission. Not from the swarm, from inside Earth's command center. Admiral Kale's face appeared, his eyes wild. Vero, we found something, the original Blackstar schematics. There's a weakness. The Revelation A hologram flashed to life, showing the Blackstar's core design, a pulsing blue sphere wrapped in alien circuitry. It was never just a ship, Kale continued. It's a hive mind. Destroy the mothership and the swarm dies with it. Vero's engineer leaned in. Sir. That means we need to find the original, Vero finished. His eyes scanned the swarm. But which one is? A sudden movement. At the swarm's center, one ship began changing. Metal plates shifted like living skin, forming a massive eye that blinked at them. The Kungs exploded with screams as every ship on the line heard it. You seek the core? Then the swarm moved, the trap evasive maneuvers. Vero shouted as the Titan lurched sideways. Blackstar clones streaked past like bullets, ignoring all other ships. They were hurting the Titan? Captain, the sensor officer yelled. They're driving us toward the dead zone. The screen showed the original Blackstar waiting at the rift, now twice its original size, covered in pulsating veins of blue light. The engineer suddenly gasped. The core. Its single quoas S, not just powering them. It's calling something bigger. A deep thrum vibrated through the ship. The rift expanded. Something stirred in the darkness beyond. The Choice Kale's voice crackled through. Vero! Our scientists say the core goes critical in 10 minutes. You have to... Static. The Titan shook violently as 3 Blackstar clones latched onto its hull with metal tentacles. Vero made his decision. Set collision course for the original Blackstar, full speed. His crew froze. That's suicide, his first officer whispered. Va, our row activated the self-destruct sequence. No, it's a fighting chance. As the Titan hurtled toward certain doom, the Original Blackstar's eye opened wide. The last thing Vero heard before impact wasn't the alarms. It was laughter. The explosion never came. Captain Vero opened his eyes to darkness. The Titan's bridge was dead, no lights, no sound, just the faint glow of emergency exit signs. His crew lay unconscious at their stations. Then he saw it, a single blue light, pulsing in rhythm with his heartbeat. Thump, thump. The main view screen flickered to life, showing only the original Blackstar floating silently in space. Its massive eyes stared directly at him. A voice whispered through the darkness, not through the speakers, but inside his skull. At last, we meet properly. The truth revealed. Vero's vision blurred. Suddenly he wasn't on the Titan anymore. He stood in a vast chamber of black metal, its walls breathing like living tissue. Before him floated the blue core, but now he could see what was inside. Not a machine, a creature, humanoid in shape but made of shifting liquid metal, its hollow eyes staring into his soul. "We were here before your sun burned bright," it spoke, without moving its mouth. Waiting, watching, needing worthy vessels. Images flooded Vero's mind, ancient pyramids being built by enslaved humans, with Blackstar symbols carved inside world wars where strange metal fragments were recovered. From battlefields, the invention of the Blackstar project, except the scientists weren't designing it. They were copying something the infection spreads back on Earth. Admiral Kale watched in horror as reports came in. Soldiers at Blackstar research facilities developing blue veins under their skin. Engineers hearing whispers from inactive ship components, the dead zone rift growing larger by the minute. His screen lit up with an emergency alert. The Titan's self-destruct had been disabled remotely. Then came the worst news. "Sir, the Blackstar clones... are landing. Not attacking... infecting... The choice." Vero found himself back on the Titan's bridge, his crew now awake, but different. Their eyes glowed faintly blue. The creature's final words echoed in his mind. "Join US or watch your world burn twice, first in metal, then in flesh." Outside, the rift pulsed like a heartbeat. Something enormous began pushing through. The air smelled like burnt copper. Captain Vero stumbled back from his infected crew, their glowing blue eyes tracking his every move. The Titan's corridors pulsed. With the same eerie light, the ship itself becoming something... alive. "Captain... His first officer's voice was wrong, too many tones layered together. "Don't you want to see?" A metallic click echoed through the ship. The main airlock hissed open, not to space, but to them. The invasion begins on Earth. Admiral Kale watched live feeds from a dozen cities in New Moscow. Black tendrils erupted from sewer grates, wrapping around screaming civilians. Tokyo's skyline twisted as buildings melted into alien shapes, the oceans near. San Francisco boiled as massive metal structures rose from the depths, but the worst was Cape Canaveral. The original Blackstar landing site pulsed like a giant heart, its surface splitting open to reveal, "God help us... Kale whispered. A perfect sphere of liquid metal floated above the crater, growing larger every second. The real core, and it was waking up, a deal with the Devilback on the Titan. Vero pressed against the viewing port as something enormous emerged from the rift, a planet-sized mass of writhing black metal, covered in millions of blinking blue eyes. The source? The voice returned to his mind. "Your choice, Captain. Lead the conversion, or become just another screaming face in our walls." Vero's hand drifted toward his sidearm, then stopped. An idea formed. A terrible, impossible idea. He looked at his infected crew, at the dying Earth, at the God machine waiting beyond the rift, and smiled. "Show me how to really fly this ship." The air inside the dropship smelled of sweat and burning circuits. Sergeant Myra Kelso checked her plasma rifle for the 12th time, the weapon's hum syncing with her pounding heartbeat. Around her, the last 12 uninfected soldiers of Earth's Special Forces sat in silence, their faces lit by the crimson glow of emergency lights. "Listen up, maggots." Colonel Drake's scarred face filled the dropship's screen. "Intel says the Titan's still intact near the rift. Your job? Get in, plant the virus bomb in the Blackstar's core. And get the hell out before the transmission glitcagd.a. Familiar blue static crept across the screen, then new words appeared. We'll be waiting. The descent into hell. The dropship shuddered as it broke through the Titan's compromised hangar bay. What awaited them wasn't a dead ship, but a transformed one. The walls pulsed with vein-like cables. The air tasted like blood and ozone. Worst of all were the faces, human shapes screaming silently within the metal itself. Movement! Corporal Chun hissed. Something skittered in the shadows, a crew member, or what was left of one. Their lower half had fused with the ship, their torso twisting like a broken doll as they crawled toward the team. Hold fire! Kelso ordered, the thing's mouth opened. Not to scream. To laugh. Then the lights went out. The captain's message flashlights revealed the path to the bridgy tunnel of pulsating flesh-metal hybrid matter. Every step made the floor squish. They found Captain Vero strapped to the command chair by living cables, his right eye replaced with a glowing blue orb. Took you ... long enough, he gasped. Blood trickled from his nose. The core, it's not just controlling us. It's learning from us. A screen flickered, showing Earth's orbit. The swarm wasn't attacking anymore, it was building something. Vero convulsed as the cables tightened. The virus won't work unless... His good eye locked onto Kelso. You take it to the original site? Cape Canaveral? The first core is... His mouth kept moving, but no sound came out. Then, in perfect unison with every infected human in the solar system, they are here. The Troyson alarm blared. The ship's mutation accelerated, walls closing in, the air turning thick. Corporal Chun held up the virus bomb. Orders, Sarge! Kelso looked at the dying captain, at her team, at the nightmare unfolding across Earth. Then she grabbed the bomb. We're not going to the bridge? She turned toward the hangar. We're taking this dropship straight to hell. The dropship screamed through Earth's atmosphere like a dying comet, its hull burning black and blue. Sergeant Kelso gripped her harness as the world outside turned to fire. 30 seconds to impact. The pilot shouted, or tried to. Half his face had melted into his seat when the Blackstar's signal hit them mid-flight. Kelso clutched the virus. Bomb to her chest. The numbers on its display ticked down, 059. Call on 58 ... fast. The landing metal shrieked as they hit Cape Canaveral's ruined launch complex. The crash threw Kelso through the cracked viewport, her armor saving her from being impaled on the twisted Blackstar spires growing from the ground. Like cancer, she rolled to her feet and froze. The original core floated ahead, but now it was huge, a swirling sphere of liquid metal the size of a skyscraper. And beneath it ... bodies, thousands of them. Not dead ... connected ... wires of black flesh linked them together in a grotesque network. Their mouths open in silent screams as blue energy pulsed through their veins. The truth revealed. Sergeant ... Kelso spun, rifle up. A figure emerged from the mist. Admiral Kale, or what remained of him. His left arm had transformed into a blade-like appendage, but his eyes were still human. For now, it's not a machine, he gasped, falling to his knees. Blood dripped from his ears. It's a bridge. They've been buried under Earth's crust for millennia, waiting for us to... He coughed up black sludge. ... to build their doorway home. The ground trembled. The core pulsed faster. Call on 30 ... call on 29 ... The sacrifice. Kelso ran toward the core, dodging thrashing cables that tried to stop her. Up close, she could see faces swirling inside the metal. Ancient human, alien, something older. The bomb's timer flashed. 015. Call on 14 ... A shadow fell over her. She turned. Captain Vero stood there, or the thing wearing his skin. His body had transformed into a perfect hybrid of man and machine, his blue eye burning with alien intelligence. You don't understand, he said with Vero's voice. We're not the invaders. He pointed skyward, through the swirling clouds. Something massive moved in orbit, something alive. We're the vaccine. The ground split open beneath Kelso's boots. Cracks spread like spiderwebs through Cape Canaveral's ruined launch pads, glowing blue from within. The virus bomb's timer flashed in her hands. 009008, as Captain Vero's words echoed. In her skull were not the invaders from the fissures below. Massive obsidian pillars erupted skyward, covered in the same screaming faces as the Titan's walls. They formed a perfect circle around the pulsing core. An altar, eh? Doorway. The awakening Vero, or the thing controlling him, spread his arms. His body began unfolding, metal plates sliding aside to reveal swirling blue energy beneath his skin. Every war you've ever fought, his voice boomed, now layered with something ancient. Every ship you've built, every prayer to your gods, all leading to this moment. The core's surface rippled. Images appeared, prehistoric humans carving Blackstar symbols into cave walls, medieval alchemists fusing liquid metal with human flesh, 20th century scientists discovering the core at Roswell. Kelso's breath came in ragged gasps. The timer hit 0:05 as realization struck. They'd never been in control, the real enemy above them. The sky tore open. Not another rift, this was something worse. The clouds parted to reveal the orbiting monstrosity in full, a planet-sized entity. Covered in pulsating red tumors, its surface writhing with tendrils that stretched toward Earth, Vero's body shuddered. The Devourer comes. We were made to stop it. But we needed your flesh to wake up. The core's light intensified. The connected human screams grew. Louder. 00:03. 00:02. Kelso looked at the bomb. At the altar. At the sky. And understood the terrible truth of Blackstar. Wasn't the enemy. It was the cure. The virus bomb beeped its final. Warning 001 as Kelso stared at the impossible choice in her hands. Detonate it. Kill the Blackstar, leaving Earth defenseless against the Devourer, or let it live. Allow humanity to become fuel for ancient machines. 000. A sound like shattering glass filled the air. The bomb's casing cracked open, not exploding, but transforming into swirling blue nanites that danced around her fingers. Vero's hybrid form smiled with too many teeth. You see? Even your weapons belong to us. The sky burns above them. The first crimson tendril from the Devourer breached the atmosphere. Where it touched, the air itself rotted, turning into a spreading necrosis that dissolved clouds into bloody mist. Kelso's radio crackled to life. The last transmission from orbit. All stations. It's eating the moon. The signal dissolved into screams as lunar rock turned to liquid flesh. The choice. Join us, Vero whispered, his hand extending into shimmering filaments. Become the shield your world needs. Kelso looked at the writhing mass of connected humans beneath the core. Saw their eyes, terrified but aware. Then she noticed something. One man at the edge of the network was fighting, his free hand clawing at the cables binding him. As their eyes met, his lips formed silent words. Kill. The escape roar filled the air as the Devourer's tendril struck Florida's coast. The ground liquefied for miles, skyscrapers melting like wax. Kelso ran not away, but toward the core. Vero moved to stop her. She shot him point blank with her plasma rifle. The blast did nothing to his metal half. But his human eye burst in a shower of blood and sparks. As he staggered, Kelso leapt onto the altar. The connected humans reached for her with dozens of free hands. Not to pull her down. To lift her up. The sacrifice. She plunged her armored fist into the core. The world turned white. When vision returned, Kelso stood at the center of a storm. The core's energy swirled around her, the virus nanites merging with its structure. The connected human screams became a unified war cry. Vero's broken form looked up in awe. What did you? The core pulsed red, then black. Then human flesh-colored. Kelso smiled as the transformation spread up her arm. You wanted a weapon? She pointed at the descending Devourer. Aim me. Chapter 1. The last stand. The world held its breath as Kelso's body fused with the core. Her veins burned blue, then black, then a deep, pulsing red as the ancient machine and human defiance merged into something new. The ground beneath her trembled, not in fear, But in awakening, Vero's broken form staggered back, his remaining human eye widening. You ... you weren't supposed to control it. Kelso turned her head too fast, too smooth, and the core responded with her. The nanites from the virus bomb weren't destroying the Blackstar. They were rewriting it. No, she said, her voice layered with 1,000 whispers. I'm giving it a choice. Above them, the Devourer's tendril lashed down like a whip, carving a canyon across Florida. The air screamed where it passed, reality itself unraveling. Kelso raised her hand. The core answered. Chapter 2, The Fires of Earth Energy, erupted from the altar in a pillar of blue-black fire, striking the Devourer's tendril mid-lunge. The cosmic flesh bubbled, then burst, raining molten fragments across the sky, but the victory was fleeting. The Devourer recoiled, then split open. A second tendril, then a dozen more, descended like the fingers of a god closing into a fist. Kelso didn't flinch. The connected humans moved as one, their bodies breaking free from the altar's cables. Not to flee, to fight? They formed a living barrier around her, their eyes burning with the same defiant light. One man, his face half melted into the machine, grinned. Took you long enough to wake us up. Then the sky fell. Chapter 3, The Final. Gambit the battle raged in flashes of crimson and blue. Kelso's mind expanded through the Blackstar's network. Seeing everything, the dying cities, the crumbling orbit, the last human ships making their futile stand, and the Devourer's heart, a gaping maw at the center of its form, where stars and planets swirled in its gullet like swallowed prey. That's our shot, Kelso whispered, but the core was weakening. The humans connected to it were burning out, their bodies failing as the machine drained them dry. Vero crawled to her feet, his metal half sparking. You can't win, he gasped. It's eaten galaxies. Kelso looked at the sky, then at the fading light of the core. Then we'll give it indigestion. Chapter 4, The Last Light. The plan was simple. Suicide. Kelso channeled every ounce of the core's energy, every life left connected to it, into a single pulse. Not to attack the Devourer's TNDRI to lure it, the beam shot straight into the monster's maw, a shining thread of defiance, for a heartbeat. Nothing happened, then the Devourer shrieked. It lunged, its massive form collapsing inward, drawn to the core's light like a moth to flame. The ground split as the altar destabilized, the doorway between worlds trembling. Kelso turned to the last surviving humans. Go! They hesitated. Now, as they fled, she turned back to the sky and smiled. Chapter 5, The End. Or the Echo. The detonation lit up the horizon. The core, the altar, the Devourer's tendrils, everything within miles, vaporized in a sphere of silent light. When the dust cleared, Cape Canaveral was gone, only a crater remained, its edges fused into smooth black glass. Epilogue. 3 months later, the survivors called it the Second Dawn. The Blackstar clones had fallen dead from the sky. The rifts had closed. The infected humans, though still alive, woke with no memory of what they'd done. But in the ruins of the Titan, drifting near the dead rift, a single transmission flickered to life. Static. Then a voice. Did it work? Kelso's voice, the screen, showed nothing but stars and something moving among them. Something new. The end.